Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, the Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Unfortunately, what you're about to hear is real. The members of this radio program are simply not that bright, or what some people would call educated. They are merely stupid. They're not trying to offend anyone on purpose. And all have played doctors on TV. You have been warned and are cordially invited to join the party. This is the Men's Room.
Forget it, man, and get with the countdown. Get with the countdown. Shake this square world and blast off for Kicksville. The trippers, the grasshoppers, the hip ones, all gathered in secrecy and flying high as a kite.
This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. You know what they say, shake your radio more than 3 times, and you're playing with it. You're listening to the Men's Room.
And away we go. Welcome to season 16, episode number 3,595. Along with Steve the Thrill Hill, the Ted Smith, and my cock. And you are the Men's Room. On tap today, it is Coats for Kids Day on the Rock. And with that, Ryan Castle will join us, and we'll get into the holiday spirit on Sit and Spin, kinda, with 10 Christmas carols from hell. Aren't they all? Pretty much. These are worse. We will play Profile This, plus headlines, a Men's Room shot of the day, fun with listener emails, and everyone's favorite TV time with Ted. Drink or two, drunk. All right, here we go. Man accidentally released from jail 4 years early, goes on a bender with his friends for 10 straight days. Meanwhile, 35 are hospitalized in Florida after smoking synthetic spice, sets people's insides ablaze. Dad shoots daughter's boyfriend twice in the chest after learning of his love for cocaine. Howdy driver comes up to flooded river and does something completely insane. And a preschooler takes her goldfish to school in a sippy cup. Forget she put it in the sippy cup. Oh, no. Drinks from the sippy cup all day. Goldfish still alive, Ted. That is all coming on today's very special episode of The Men's Room.
And now, here's the question.
Hola, bitches. Good day to you and yours. All right, to the average person, this will not come as a shock, but according to a new study from the No S. Sherlock Institute, if you lend somebody money, there's a 50% chance that it will end badly. And yes, some of these things include damaged relationships, ruined credit scores, and 7% of the time, a physical fight. Now, that said, there are so many ways to make bad decisions with money. For example, a man bet over $73,000 on the Buccaneers to win this last Sunday, and they did. And you know what he won? $735. Again, he bet $73,000 and won $735. Now, I'm not much of a gambler myself, but I'd bet that this guy's an idiot. The good news is he's not alone. A woman in North Carolina, she won the Powerball jackpot and has spent more than $600,000 of it on bail for her boyfriend. In Australia, a woman got a $220,000 inheritance and spent all of it in 9 months. It should be noted, $150,000 of it was on drugs alone. And if you see a picture of her, you might wonder why she didn't spend just a wee bit on some dental care. Now, at least the guy in England won $18 million. He took 10 years to blow all of his money, and now he has to work 7 days a week to make ends meet. But as we all know, you don't have to win the lottery to waste money.
On a more relatable note, golfer John Daly, known for smoking Marlboro Reds and drinking Bud Heavies, well, he recently got drunk and ended up spending $440 on an Uber Eats order from Taco Bell. And everyone is trying to figure out what in the hell he bought from Taco Bell that cost $440. Maybe we'll get to the bottom of it. But today, obviously, we're talking money, and not about having money, but more or less spending money. All right, because sometimes we make dumb decisions. Sometimes you make good decisions, but either way, sometimes you just have buyer's remorse. So today's question is fill in the blank style. We want to know whether it was worth it or not. I may have spent too much money on blank.
Be part of the big show. Call 206-421-ROCK. Like the Men's Room on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Men's Room Live. And send those emails to the Men's Room at KISW.com.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
This Father's Day, refresh Dad's tool collection with the sweetest brands like Cobalt at Lowe's. Right now, you can buy one select Cobalt 24-volt Max kit and get one select Cobalt Bear tool free, up to a $139 value. The gift of powering Dad's summer projects is priceless. Shop Lowe's in-store or online today to make it happen. While supplies last, valid 5/2 through 7/31.
The debauchery rolls on. You're listening to The Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
Hold the Charles, and away we go. Welcome to Season 16, Episode number 3595 on Coach for Kids Day. What a large and charged program we have for you today.
Shh, trying to listen.
Turn this up.
Green
Beans, green beans. It's going to be a Green Bean Tuesday on Coach for Kids Day.
All right.
We're going to get that goal of $69,000 to help out kids in need in Washington State. Put a brand new coat on a kid that needs one. And we'll stop playing the Green Bean song once we hit that number.
That is correct.
If we can make it to $69,000, we want to go way above that. But if we can hit it, all right, you will never have to hear this song again.
Never?
I mean, unless you really want it for a birthday request.
Okay, fair enough.
In that instance, we'll throw you a bone. It's your birthday, whatever. But either way,
we'll throw you a green bean bone.
The seasonal song. We should let it be seasonal.
Okay.
All right. And it sucks.
Head to KISW.com right now if you can. BJ and Migs kicked ass this morning. They already hit the goal. We're going to try to surpass that and help out kids that need a new coat in Washington State. By the way, Taylor Driving School and UMass Global will also be matching donations up to $1,000 each. So head to KISW.com and donate. We want to hit that number before the end of the show. We'll keep you updated as we go. Mm-hmm. Hopefully we'll be able to do that. With that, Ryan Castle will join us, and once again, we'll get into the holiday spirit a little bit on Sit and Spin. We've got 10 Christmas carols from hell, meaning versions of Christmas songs done by people who maybe you wouldn't expect, not with a lot of talent, but either way, they went to the effort to at least bring you some holiday cheer.
But I feel like people that have a lot of talent wouldn't bother to do a Christmas carol. You know what I mean? Like, the thing about Christmas carols, to me, aside from the fact all of them are terrible, and look, the spirit of the season is not lost on me. Yeah. I know I sound like the Grinch. I understand that. The spirit is not lost. I just think the music sucks, right? But to me, Christmas songs should only be performed by elementary school children. Like, that's it. Once you're an adult, shut the hell up. If you're Barbara Streisand, look, you made millions of dollars.
Or you're really old. Or you're really, really old.
Well, look, if you are at high risk of defecating yourself while you're awake, you can sing Christmas songs.
Burl Ives or somebody like that.
You
know what I'm saying? Like
sure.
The classics.
What else you got to do?
Yeah. Bing Crosby. You got to be young or really, really old.
Look, I'll put this in perspective, and this sounds terrible, but I mean this from the bottom of my heart, and I know I'm not alone with this. My kids are in elementary school, and thanks to COVID, I don't have to sit through one of the Christmas performances.
Get out of here.
Every year so far.
See, there are some positive things.
Left work and gone directly to the school because I don't want any downtime to sit down to hear terrible performances of songs that I have never liked.
Well, at least your kid didn't also do the tour where after the school performance, they would go to various senior centers in the area and then put on special holiday performances either on a Saturday or a Sunday morning, which I have attended a number of, which are longer. The audience is not nearly as enthusiastic. I played one game one year, like, who's napping in the audience right now?
What percent of them are napping?
And it was like, the highest number was 6 at one point in time. They're all sitting in their chair, but they're asleep. You know what I mean? And the kids come up in as far as their age. So they start them with the youngest participant and then move up to where, like, someone can actually play the piano and does something.
Our school stopped doing it. See, our school got savvy to this, okay? So it used to be they started in kindergarten, first, second, third. They would go through the grades. But what they realized was, like, after the kindergartners, when they're cute and they do their thing, and you're happy to see your kid. It's not that. But the music sucks. And the kids are awful. But they would do kindergarten. And they realized when the kindergarten class was done, all the parents whose oldest kid was in kindergarten, they got up and left because they didn't want to be. And then you'd watch the first grade parents, then the third. So they started mixing it up, so you're stuck there. You didn't know when your kid would appear, man. And I remember it pissed me off, so they'd start with third grade all of a sudden. Then go to kindergarten and mix it up. And all the parents, we were equally disgusted with this. Like, dude, you're only there to see your kid.
Well, what if someone went up and did green beans? I'd be like, dude, fine.
I'd watch that. I would watch
green
that.
Beans, you know what I mean?
Green bean. Come on, Ted.
What do you need? What do you need? You just need a bass drum?
Yes.
That's it? I mean, that's
the
only discernible thing.
That is it.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure. Seems like an easy song to learn to play.
Green bean.
Absolutely. Okay. Our question, whether it was worth it or not, I might have spent too much money on blank. We start with this. According to the latest drunk shopping survey from personal finance site Finder, more than 1/5, 21% of U.S. adult consumers admit to shopping under the influence. The percentage of respondents that admitted to buying under the influence has actually decreased over the past year.
Really? All right.
I guess people are settling into the home life. The average drunk shopper is also spending a lot less. Respondents spent an average of $423 on drunk purchases this year. That's down 45% from the previous year. Previous year, people were spending $770 drunk every year for a total of $44.9 billion put into the local accounts. Isn't that insane? It's insane.
Well, that's also a year where you literally couldn't leave your home.
Oh, yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely.
And not too surprisingly, food is the most common drunk purchase. More than 8 in 10 of drunk shoppers admit to purchasing food while drunk, followed by apparel, shoes, clothes, accessories, cigarettes, gambling, movies, streaming services. One unexpected popular drunk purchase, cars.
Wow.
A product category which 30% of drunk shoppers have bought.
Yeah, it's a hard one to explain away, man.
It's incredible. Male drunk shoppers spent an average of about $490. The top purchases for men under the influence: food at 86%, cigarettes at 69%, gambling at 64%. Significantly fewer women admitted to drunk shopping than men. Female drunk shoppers spend an average of about $300. Women like the food as well. Shoes, clothes, accessories coming in second, and cigarettes coming in third. They break it all down by the generations and all that stuff. But either way, we put a hell of a lot of money into the economy when we're drunk. Yeah, not always make the best purchases in the world. Well, there's a reason.
Can people donate now?
What, to KSW.com?
Right. I'm looking at Mike like, will you stop playing that damn song?
Yeah, all we need to do is get to 69,000. We'll stop playing green beans. Coats for Kids is a great cause. This is one of those purchases.
Ted's about to open his wallet.
This is one of those purchases.
Yeah, right.
It is not a bad purchase.
First of all, but I'm in.
It's a tax write-off. You're helping kids in the area who need it.
More specifically that, yes.
Whatever money you put in will be matched. So we'll be able to get to that $69,000 hopefully a little bit quicker, and we'll stop playing green beans. We start with this story. John Daly. We all know John Daly. If you don't, John Daly was one of those guys who was a pro golfer who was kind of like seemed like your average kind of a hack golfer. The problem with John, or difference of John could hit the ball about 350 yards, 375. So he was a big, long drive hitter. He loved ripping cigarettes on the golf course.
Anybody, if you don't know golf, right? Like there's major championships, right?
Yeah.
But most guys are on the tour. The U.S. Open's very different because you can actually go to your local golf courses and you can qualify.
Yes, you can.
John Daly, like he never did the old school way of going through the lower tours, this and that. He qualified for the Open. He's basically like Tin Cup. Has a good showing in the U.S. Open, and then
he wins the British Open.
I don't know if he ever
wins the British Open.
Did he ever have it? Right. He ended up winning a major, so it's like, right, he was just always on tour.
So my question is, because you guys are a lot more involved in golf than I am, and I'm very familiar with John Daly, but the other golfers, is he someone they really like having around because he's a little more gregarious, or does he drive them crazy because they kind of know his MO for?
I mean,
honestly, it seems like everybody likes it. There's just a certain line. I don't know how many beers it is. For once in a while, it seems like things go bad.
Look, there's a couple PGA pros who still smoke cigarettes.
Sure.
They just don't do it on the fairway. They don't do it on the green. They do it like when they're walking in between holes when no one can see. They'll rip a cigarette real quick, you know what I mean, put it out. John was one of those guys who, you know, he the first thing he did when he was in the score table was get a drink. And then he would rip a cigarette, you know, but he was smoking the entire time he was on the golf course. Not only that, but John Daly won, you know, the British Open, where there's a culture of drinking. There's a culture of smoking. And when this guy comes out of nowhere and he's just absolutely ripping the ball, and he's ripping cigarettes going up, I mean, he immediately becomes a fan favorite because
a fan favorite, no doubt.
He's so unconventional.
And nobody was hitting the ball like he was.
No.
I mean, he's a damn legend.
Didn't care what he ate. He was sponsored by Hooters for a number of years.
Right.
Like where other, you know, golfers would wear something.
Titleist. And
yeah, exactly. You know what I mean? GE.
Right.
Hooters. You know, financial firms. He had Hooters on his shirt. You know what I mean? So it was like, is it possible not to like this guy? He would go to Hooters and spend thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars on tournaments. He would go to Hooters and be a spokesperson for them.
Sure.
Unofficial until they signed him. Like he voluntarily wore their stuff until they made him an official sponsor.
He went through a period where he tried to stop drinking, but he would smoke like it was so. I want to say at least 2 packs during a round. And he would eat a 3-pound bag of M&Ms
right
during the round.
Yeah,
John, like, he's just one of those dudes. If he's into it, he's going.
Right. He was the first guy to appeal to use a cart because he was injured. So in golf, you're supposed to walk. I mean, typical golfer, you can take a cart or whatever. But John's like, give me a cart, man. I just want to play golf and hang out and drive around in my golf cart. Now, he still drives in a cart now on the senior tour, which you don't have to. You can, if you have a medical exemption or whatever the deal is.
Or you're John Daly.
John takes cart. And if you're unfamiliar with him, his weight fluctuates up and down.
Right.
As I say, he has less than advisable dietary habits. Legendary party animal as well. He's been through multiple divorces. He's the kind of guy who doesn't think twice, obviously, about hopping on Uber Eats to get some fast food delivered after a long night filled with buds and Marlboro Reds. But the writer says, my jaw legitimately dropped when I saw a receipt the golfer posted on Instagram alongside a warning that reads, Green bean. Don't drink and order Taco Bell on Uber Eats. John Daly somehow managed to spend $446.10 on the order he placed in Miami. It's not entirely clear how Daly managed to rack up the tab. Those burritos, 10 crunchy Taco Supremes. Either way, that only came to $130.
They can't figure it out.
Fees included.
That's the crazy part. Because look, guilty of this myself. Saturday night, whatever, Sunday night, you're drunk, like, I need Taco Bell.
Sure.
On Uber Eats. I don't own a car. So.
Absolutely.
But $438, even with fees, you're talking still $300 at least in just Taco Bell.
What is the most expensive item on the Taco Bell menu?
Green.
Jesus.
I don't even know anymore.
But it can't be more than
maybe $7.
I was going to say.
At the most.
I'd say
and that's got steak in it or something.
Right, we'll say 6 to 10.
If you have a shrimp thing, maybe. Who knows?
Even if it's $10, that means you had to order like 44 of that.
Which is a lot.
Yes.
I mean, it's one thing to eat at night when you're drunk. It's another thing to run up a $446 tab at Taco Bell. That means basically you're having a party. There's a lot of people there. You're not ordering just for yourself. And I'll get everybody Taco Bell.
That's different.
Yes, exactly.
Because it's a party. I think that's just him.
And that's kind of Taco Bell's thing. It's like, yo, we're cheap and we're open late. Get a bunch of stuff.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. But again, $438.
On Taco Bell.
446.
446.
On Taco Bell.
Taco Bell.
All right, now we go to the world of sports books. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers beat the Buffalo Bills in overtime Sunday, move one step closer to the playoffs. Tampa is now 10-3 on the year. The Bucs are running away with the NFC South, where all three other teams right now have losing records.
Green Bay.
Falcons and Saints are 6-7. Panthers are 5-8. Now, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are currently the number 3 seed in the NFC behind the Cardinals and the Packers, but they're a virtual lock to win their division.
Oh, no doubt.
At this point, there are 4 games left in the season. The Buccaneers have a 4-game lead over the teams with a losing record. Losing the division at this point would be unthinkable, and the sportsbook odds reflect that with minus 10,000. So if you're not sure how odds work, that means someone needs to bet 10,000 in order to win just $100.
Right.
Someone did that and then some. David Purdom at ESPN's Chalk spoke with Thomas Gable. He's a director at the Borgata Sportsbook in Atlantic City. Someone came in and placed a $73,500 bet on the Bucs to win the NFC South. So he hasn't won it yet.
He will, but
he will at minus 10,000 odds. Meaning, if he hits this for $73,500, he will get a net profit of $735 once the season is over. Has a lot of people asking many questions, like
just one. Why?
Is this guy laundering money? When you hear about this type of wager, it's the first thing you can think of. But the guy says, honestly, I don't know if people think they can get more of a return than if they had a bank account that was accruing interest. And he's not too far off.
Yeah, but the difference is, and I understand the Buccaneers, mathematically, they're going to win it. I'm very confident to win it. But there are no guarantees to win it. As were my bank account, I'm confident that little bit of interest, that stays the same. Like, my bank account will not just disappear because of an opinion I have.
No, it
you know
will
what
not.
I'm saying?
No,
that's the difference. Like, the bank says, yeah, it's slow and steady wins the race here. No, you get a ton of interest, but there'll be a little something in there.
But if
I'm
I came home
betting on it,
and I said, honey, I just put $73,500.
And she go, what are we going to win?
Green
and I say,
Green Bean.
At the end of the year, at the end of the Super Bowl,
donate now.
We'll get $735 back.
There's no way this guy's married.
Or I could lose $73,500 in case something would go horribly wrong. So that's another option, too. It's not mathematically impossible. It could very well happen.
It could. I doubt it will, but it could, for sure.
Please go to KISW.com now. Donate for Coats for Kids.
Before Ted starts cutting himself.
Puts a brand new coat on a Washington State child in need. If we make it to $69,000, Mike will stop playing the Green Bean song.
Hopefully. He looks like he's enjoying it.
He is. Please head to KISW.com and donate today. Our question, whether it was worth it or not, I might have spent too much money on blank.
99.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too big to fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.
This Father's Day, refresh Dad's tool collection with the sweetest brands like Cobalt at Lowe's. Right now, you can buy one select Cobalt 24-volt Max kit and get one select Cobalt Bear tool free, up to a $139 value. The gift of powering Dad's summer projects is priceless. Shop Lowe's in-store or online today to make it happen. While supplies last, valid 5/2 through 7/31.
KISW. The men's room is in progress.
All right, got an update for you here as far as Coats for Kids. Ted Might not have to hear this song for very much longer.
All right, where are we at, Miles?
We're at $57,446.
$446.
Keep in mind, $20 puts a brand new coat on a Washington State child in need, and those donations are being matched thanks to Taylor Driving School and UMass Global. By the way, Coats for Kids presented by KISW and our friends at Palace Law. So we're going to try to hit 69,000. If we can, we're done with the green bean song.
Some of the comments come in. What is the amount up to now for Coats for Kids? I know what you're asking. Someone else just submitted my donation to make that effing song stop. That's from Diane. It says, guys, you could have just asked nicely. Honestly, though, is this the first time that someone's done a fundraiser using hostage techniques? We discussed that yesterday. I don't know, but we got no problem with that. Someone else, you guys.
Whatever it takes.
What is the goal to make the song stop?
$69,000. $69,000. That's all it is.
Pretty simple.
It's that easy.
69,000.
This is reverse payola. Okay? You're paying us to stop playing something. See, the way it worked back in the day was the record company might come and slide you some money and say, hey, guys, play this song. You know what I mean? Play this new song for us. And then we take the money and go buy cocaine. And then they said, no, you can't do that anymore. So this is the reverse of that.
Damn right.
Yeah, you're giving us the money, then we don't play the song. You see?
Mm-hmm. And we knew it would work.
There it is. Our question, whether it was worth it or not, I might have spent too much money on blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Hello, Dan. Welcome to the men's room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola.
So, I had season tickets to the Sounders for a few years. Me and my buddies were getting a little twisted up at Fuel, and we started to walk to the stadium. And just past Occidental there on the left, I remember vaguely, is like a throwback store where you buy jerseys and all that old, sports gear.
Sure.
I'm from Tacoma. I seen in the window an old vintage Tacoma Rainiers dugout jacket.
Is that the red one?
Yeah, it was like a kind of a cream color, but it had the red Rainier Beer R wool patch on the front, like a Letterman jacket. It was freaking sweet. Anywho, I dropped north of $250 on it, and it was like all the money I had in my pocket. And I was like, man, this is awesome. It's about halfway through the match. I am just kicking myself because I had no more money for beer.
Well, you still have the jacket?
Yeah, well, see, and I went to a Rainiers game, and all the older folks that work there said they've never seen one, and somebody offered me $500 to take it off my back right then and there, so the remorse went away pretty quick.
Really? Well, did you take the $500?
No, I didn't. I kept the jacket because if someone was stupid enough to offer me that, then it might be worth more money down the line.
It might be, but I'm always like, don't hedge your bets that there's someone dumber. Right, so I dropped $250. This guy
would have bought a lot of beers on $2 beer night.
Yeah, I'd have given it up for $500. I mean, look, you're right.
Yeah,
there might be someone.
I'll be 3.5 years sober though, so no more drunk buyer's remorse. It's just I can't believe I spent that money.
Yeah, but you got that. I mean, hey, look, that's not an unreasonable price for a jacket. I mean, a new jacket. Granted, we can put a brand new coat on a kid for $20. So obviously. I
like how you say that. That's not an unreasonable price. Although today for $20.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
right. Well, look, they're American-made coats. They're made right. Yeah, but either way, I mean, hell, you go to like a Nordstrom Rack, and those are all discounted, and you're lucky if you find a coat for $100. I mean,
yeah, and I'll never see that jacket again. I've yet to see one anywhere near like it. It's kind of cool. So I was mad at the time because I had no more money to get wasted before they said no more booze at the game. But in the end, it was worth it.
But do you still wear it?
Yo, heck yeah, all the time. Okay, it's hard to clean now. I've got to take it to a dry cleaner.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably Ebbets Field. Like, their stuff is awesome.
Golly.
Yeah,
boy.
My birthday's St. Patrick's Day, so I'm going to have you guys do that green bean thing, and I stained the jacket drinking corned beef and cabbage juice one year.
Jesus, man.
Why were you just drinking you don't have to answer. I know why.
Because I eat the whole corned beef and cabbage out of the crock pot. My brother bet me $20 I wouldn't pick it up and chug all the juice. I wore that juice, but I drank all of it, too.
Okay, all right. Well, sometimes, okay. As far as food goes, I will tend to spend more money at times, depending on the situation, on food than I normally would other things.
Like, what do you mean?
I know the ridiculousness of the price on certain things. So, okay, for an example, typically during the holidays, I will order crab cakes from Baltimore.
Yes.
Now, if I order crab cakes from Baltimore, they're my favorite. There's a couple of different companies you can order from, but one that does deliver, and they're pretty consistent about delivering. We'll say 6 crab cakes the last time I ordered them. Ended up being about $160 to have those shipped out here. Now,
that's probably,
They're large.
It's 6 crab, right, but
it's
in the end,
6 crab cakes. That's all it is. And they're delicious. And when you eat them, you're like, this is worth every penny. I'm so glad I did this. Then you realize, okay, if you told anyone else who was not the biggest crab cake fan in the world, what you spent, because everybody who has ever come over and eaten one is like, this is the best crab cake,
yeah, no question,
that I've ever had in my life. And then I tell them how much that we paid for them. And then they lose their mind.
Like, it should be good.
It better be. I know, Ted, you just bought some crab not too long ago.
Oh, yes.
Okay, well, this is the example. Okay, so
that's a very good call.
All right, so
I spent more that day than I've spent in a long time on food.
Okay, but what did you just spend on one type of crab alone?
I know it's a question.
It is the question.
I do not want to say.
But you didn't buy a ton of it. You just bought enough for a couple people, right?
Yeah.
Was it $150, $160?
Well, I'm still embarrassed.
Why?
Because it's ridiculous. I don't have that money. I shouldn't have done
it.
Yeah,
but that's the whole point of this. Like obviously it's not a.
We bought a cluster of Dungies. We bought some clusters of snow crab, and then we bought 2 of these Norwegian king crabs.
Well, they were red crab or something, weren't they?
They were king crab.
Oh, king crab. Okay.
Yeah, they were. I'll say this: they were $70 per pound.
Ooh.
And each one was like a pound and a half.
Each leg was a pound and a half.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
See, sometimes,
and then we ate it before anybody else got there because I was like, "F this." We bought it. We're eating this.
Right.
I mean, don't be wrong. We still made the Low Country boil. Mike was part of that, but that part, like me and my buddy were just like, "This is way too expensive." And now we ate it before anybody got there. But I did take a bite and I said, "This might be the best crab I've ever had."
What I have done in my life, and I mean this, and I'm dead honest about this. Mike, you were there. Miles, you were there. The little crab feast we did at my place over the summer.
Yeah.
We're getting blue crabs imported from Baltimore. They got to ship them. All right. So we do this once a year because it falls around our anniversary. So we're like, F it. You just throw a big outdoor party, eat crabs. So the one thing I say to my wife, because she deals with all the ordering stuff, and I say this about the kids' school, I say this about the crabs we ordered. I said, look, whatever you do not tell me how much this costs. Like, I don't want to know. I don't want to feel guilty.
Nope.
I don't want to feel bad. I just want to enjoy the goddamn crabs. I just want my kids to get an education, right? So to this day, my daughter's 5, 6 years. I don't know how much the school costs. I don't want to know how much the school costs. And even when I talk to other parents, they go, how do you not know? It's like, I told my wife, I have instructed her clearly. Do not tell me how much it costs because I might pull their ass out of the school. I don't know if we're getting a deal. I don't know if it's expensive.
We're not getting a deal.
I know we're not getting a deal. I don't want to know all those crabs that came in. I was like, I don't want to know. I don't want to know because I know that I will care. And it's easier. Like, ignorance is bliss when it comes to that. Like, I don't want to know. And every once in a while, I should look at something that I have purchased. How much was it?
I'll tell you what.
I'm like, you don't want to know.
We've been talking about this for years. We finally need to do this in the next few years. Like seriously. We should seriously think about doing this idea that we had years ago for this year's Super Bowl. And the idea is this, Mike. Okay, you were in Kansas City not too long ago.
Yeah.
Probably spent a lot of money trolling around in Kansas City, right?
Yeah.
Okay? Kansas City barbecue. Did you have some?
Yes.
Did you find a favorite spot?
I did. Yeah, the shoot. It's called the Ice House.
Okay. It's great. I'm sure that, like, through Gold Belly, or is it Gold Belly, Pot Belly? What is the name of that?
Gold Belly. Gold Belly.
Gold Belly delivers, all right? So every single person orders one item of food from a specific city. Okay, so in other words, maybe I'll pick up the buffalo wings from the Anchor Bar and get them delivered to the house. Basically, all these foods, you warm them up in the oven. Or
right.
They're pretty basic stuff. Get some crab cakes from Baltimore. Or some barbecue.
Steaks from Geno's, right.
In Philly. Maybe get some barbecue from Texas.
Maybe some green beans.
Yeah, exactly. Chicago pizza from Chicago. Whatever it is that you kind of just, that's just awesome that you really like.
It's the most expensive potluck ever.
It's it's probably $150 a person. But you're going to feed with all the different types of food, probably easily 10 people. You know what I'm saying? As far as everybody will have a bite, everybody will have something. You know what I'm saying? But you'll at least get some wings. You'll definitely get some pizza. Maybe get a Detroit style pizza from Detroit. Like, actually order it from the source.
Right. The place that specializes, because it's so much better than everyone else that tries to imitate, right?
Exactly.
That's the one thing. I mean, and you're right. People will brag about where they are from. Does not matter who you are, but then you realize there's some truth to it. Yeah. When you visit that city and eat their version, you're like, oh my God.
Right.
Like, what have I been eating?
It's like where we go and get our cheesesteaks down at KISW, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
we're doing that Friday, in fact.
If you read the reviews on this place, it says, like, I'm from Philly. This is the damn closest thing you'll have to a traditional Philly cheesesteak that I've had on the West Coast. The West Coast. You know what I'm saying? But I really believe if you put them side to side and you did a taste test with one from Philly and one from KISW's, you would have a hard time discerning which one is the one that's...
And why is that? Because while he did not give us a ton of information, he goes out of his way to get the authentic stuff.
Exactly.
By the way, KISW's, if you're listening, my wife will be there Friday morning with a rather large order for
we're eating.
steaks.
It's our last day, man. Woo! Yeah. It's our end of year spectacular.
So figure out what you guys want Thursday night. I believe she's going to make the order Thursday night and pick it up for us Friday.
But either way, man, I think we should do that. Maybe this year for the Super Bowl.
I'm down.
You know what I'm saying? Just like we'll just throw in one item. We'll figure out what the hell it is. Each one of us will order a specific thing. Hopefully it gets there in time. You got to look and work it. But, then we'll just have a feast.
Miles, what is the name of the crab place? People are asking, what's the name of the crab place that you ordered?
The one I'd get from is G&M.
That's the one.
There's a number of them. And again, this is like going to Philly. Somebody will tell you, look, the neighborhood cheesesteak place is better than Gino and Pat's. And they're probably right. And there's some of those in Baltimore as well. So there's a couple other independent
ones. But just go G&M.
But G&M is the standard, and it is like the gold standard.
People have never been there. And look, I order stuff from them usually around Christmas, too. It is super expensive. Every time I'm in Maryland, me and my mother go to G&M. Mm-hmm. I mean, it is without a doubt, one thing we're doing is going there. And look, people, if you're not from Maryland, you're going to go, this seems really expensive.
It is.
I guarantee you have never had a crab cake like this.
No.
That I can promise you. Sure.
I don't know why we're selling them.
I don't know. We don't get anything for it.
Donate money so Michael stop playing that damn song.
Exactly.
Yeah, spend your money on the Coats for Kids.
Not crab cakes from Maryland.
No, exactly. Our question, whether it was worth it or not, I might have spent too much on blank. 206-421-ROCK.
I wish you hadn't brought this up, Miles. I'm stuck in the hell of ordering online. I'm like, no, I'm not doing it.
Yeah, but to be fair, most of this nonsense happens around Christmas because at Christmas, you're already blowing a ridiculous amount of money on something, right? Yeah. Either the travel to visit someone or the gifts for kids. It's like, this is the one time a year we go, half it. I'm going in the hole one way or another. I might as well treat myself, do something.
Mm-hmm. All right, Larry just bought a brand new coat for a kid in need, and that
nice.
donation is doubled. Jeff just bought 3 coats for kids in need. Again,
see, he still got it in though. He spent $369,
and Vincent K gave $369. Thank you. We're trying to get this song off the air. So,
people want it off the air.
Please donate now. KISW.com. Click on Coats for Kids.
Green bean.
Hello, Josh.
Hey.
Welcome to the men's room.
Hello.
Hola.
Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
All right. So my thing is, I'm kind of a giant kid at heart. I spent $1,400 on a goddamn remote control car.
Now, you say a goddamn remote control car, but you voluntarily spent this money, right?
Yes, it was worth every damn penny of it, but my wife was very unpleased when I showed up with it, and she asked me, what is that and why do you have it?
Well, that's the difference. See, there's regret. Like, do you regret buying the car, or do you regret in that moment that you were married and have to explain this purchase to your wife?
Yeah, pretty much. I regret her being outside when I showed up to the house with it.
Oh, yeah.
Now, let me ask you a question. Was it one of those RC racing cars? Is that what this is?
Yeah, it's a 1/5 scale, so it's rather large. It weighs about 20 pounds, and it does about 55 miles an hour.
Damn.
Where do you take this thing to?
I was going to say, there used to be racing tracks on the East Coast where there was competitions.
Sure, yeah.
I take it to bike tracks and skate parks.
Is there any kind of competition you can enter with this thing?
Not with the 1/5 scale. It's a little bit too big. Most of the competitions are like a 1/10 scale, which I have a couple of those too. I have 10 altogether.
Can you win any money doing that?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
What's a typical prize if you were to win the whole thing?
Well, it depends. There's lots of different prizes for different races and stuff. I tend to stay away from the competition side of it because I still like to have fun, and I've realized that when you start competing, it's no longer fun.
Well, that's true.
Yeah. No, you're right. I bet you we have more fun playing catch than NFL players have on game day. Like, because we're just having fun.
Game day sucks.
Right.
Game day is the worst.
Fun, Ted. Fun.
Game day should be the fun day. Practice
It should
sucks.
be, but
Well,
it's not.
Even, look, you could have your turkey bowl, right? Maybe your team loses. We're not screaming about it on the side. You know what I mean? Like, competition sucks the fun out of things. Doesn't mean you don't enjoy it, but it's no longer fun. That's why I always argue, like, look, if you go bowling...
You have more fun recording a commercial or doing the show?
Or doing the show.
Right, so I'm saying game day's fun time.
Yeah, but this is different, right?
Everything leading up to it sucks.
Well, yeah, again, that's why you do all that hard work and the crappy stuff so you can get the game.
I'm not saying they don't enjoy it. I'm just saying I don't think it's as much fun. Because once you get competitive, when you get good at something, like I said, go bowling with a bunch of us and then bring one guy who's really good at bowling. The only person that's going to have a bad time is the person who's really good. Because they're worried about every single ball they throw because they know they can do it. If you play darts with someone who can really play darts well, they never have as much fun as you. Even beating you means nothing because they know you suck.
Same with pool.
You know, so I'm always like, I don't really want to be great at anything.
I hear you. I'm just saying the NFL thing. I have a hard time thinking it's not. Like, that's always the point.
Did you see the Raiders?
It's a Sunday.
They did
You're
not look
walking out
happy.
to 80,000 people, fireworks. That's why you did all the work in high school as a kid.
Sure. And now you're down 21-0 at the end of the first quarter. Like, this is not fun anymore. Like, their fun has already been sucked away. You know, you can't, like, Kansas City had a lot more fun Sunday than Las Vegas did. Sure. And I'm just looking at their faces like, but you're not even enjoying this anymore. And you got to go through another, like, I'm just looking at the bench, and I get it. Nobody likes to lose, but it's because you're really, really good. Where if I'm just playing a turkey bowl and your team is kicking my team's ass, it's all right. I might talk some smack to you, but I'm not angry about it. That's all.
I'm trying to find this pool stick my buddy bought. He spent $700 on it. Somewhere between $700 and $800 on a pool stick.
What can differentiate the pool stick that's that much money from if I drop, say, $80 on it?
It's the McDermott G706, no engraving, 19-ounce standard. Lizard emblem black. That's the one he bought. Close to $900.
Yeah.
That's a lot of goddamn. I'm like, to play pool, dude?
Now, is he in competitions or is he going to the bar?
He's going to the bar and he's playing for money.
Okay, if you're going to make some money on it, I think it justifies a little more. Like, I got a custom bass maker. I have money to play it, so it was harder to explain to the wife, but she finally agreed to not to badger me too much about it. Like, she wouldn't please, but it'd be different if I said, we're going on tour. She'd be like, sure, I get it.
Okay. Right? Well, I mean, does she shop with that purse you bought her?
No, but she didn't buy it.
Okay, all right.
You know what I'm saying? I bought
But did
that.
she complain about the price when you bought it for her?
Absolutely not. I complained about the price.
Right.
You know, you're not supposed to tell people how much a gift costs. Like, that's always, like, take off the price tag, whatever. Like, when I gave it to her, I'm like, you know how much this goddamn thing costs?
I left the price tag on.
Look at that.
Whether it was worth it or not, I might have spent too much money on blank. 206-421.
Yeah, I don't. Other people can spend as much as they want on me.
Sure.
Oh, I got no problem with that. I'd be like, you shouldn't have. But I'm glad you did. Hello, Joe. Welcome to the men's room.
Leroy Jenkins.
Hola.
So, about 15 years ago, my wife and I went to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant in Manhattan and spent a little over $1,000.
Jesus.
And neither of us drink, so that was just food.
What the hell? How many people?
Us.
Just 2 people.
Yeah.
What did you get?
It was like a 8-course dinner that had like an amuse-bouche between every course, and it was incredible.
Yeah. Was there any beef Wellington?
No, there was venison.
All right.
Now, were you able to pick out what you wanted in those courses, or do they basically say, like, look, you pay a flat $500 fee, and then we serve you these courses, and you just kind of have to trust us?
Yeah, it was the latter. Yeah, you paid your money.
Oh, see, I don't know.
Yeah, I'm not okay with that.
I'd have to be like this or that. You know what I'm saying?
Here's the problem with to me. Like, you can go to any Gordon Ramsay restaurant and overspend for what they give you. You can also go to any restaurant in Manhattan and overspend. You can go to McDonald's in Manhattan. It is a different price point just for all this. So to go to Gordon Ramsay in Manhattan, that to me is that, like, if you want to go to Gordon Ramsay, we're going to go to, what's some podunk place in Kentucky? Like, let's go there. Let's do it there, man. Save a little cash.
Ted, in Vegas, me and Robin and Steve went to a Gordon Ramsay restaurant, right?
All right.
And it was expensive. I mean, it was expensive. And
Gordon Ramsay.
Steve gets a lamb burger, right? Does not remember eating it.
Nope.
The
I
entire
I was
meal,
there.
You were there. The entire
You were.
meal.
You saved me from falling into the street.
Oh, that's right. That's exactly right. do you remember how much money that did you? Well, I think we picked up the tab.
Yeah, I did not see that. I was trying to keep Mr. Hill upright. I
It was about $800.
God damn.
But he doesn't remember any of it.
No.
I mean, that hamburger.
Did you have a bite of it?
I did have a bite. I took two.
Was that good?
You know me. When he goes to the bathroom, man, I take over.
I know you do.
Wow.
Let's not say we take over. You steal.
Yeah.
Right, there's a difference.
Yeah. Like when we look
It's
at
not like he's like, yo, boss, I'm tapping you in.
Well, like,
Watch my burn for me. Eat up.
We'll go to smoke, and you'll see a bag of chips on Steve's desk. And you're like, I've never tried these. And the next thing you know, you got a couple chips in your mouth, right?
Green bean.
That's different than
Green
At least I'm going high value. I want to taste what a $35 hamburger tastes like. You know what I'm saying?
Hamburger.
right. You just said, then I take over.
You know what I'm saying?
You stole it.
Yeah, pretty much.
Green bean.
I stole a bite.
Green bean.
That's stealing.
I heard two.
Then Robin ate the rest.
Oh,
You didn't know.
No, I didn't know. I was drunk.
Well, then in that case, good work.
I was like, what do you want it to go to waste?
Good.
Whether it was worth it or not, I might have spent too much money on blank. 206-421-ROCK.
Realtors abide by a code of ethics. This is Article 9 in action. Beth, a first-time homebuyer, knew nothing about the home buying process, except that she wanted to buy a home. But her realtor had the expertise to make sure Beth understood every document, even giving her copies to review with her lawyer so Beth could close on her first home with confidence. Complicated things explained in simple terms. The difference between an agent and a realtor is real. Realtors are members of the National Association of Realtors. That's who we are.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. As we continue to listen, learn, and grow, we are amplifying Black voices and perspectives in an effort to start a new COVID-19 vaccine conversation. We're sharing stories intended to help us navigate this unprecedented time together and to co-create solutions in support of the Black community. Hear these stories at weconsiderwa.org.
$20 million, $19 million, $6 million. These are all awards recovered for clients of Phillips Law Firm. To win big, you have to fight big. And Phillips Law has been fighting the too-big-to-fail insurance industry for decades. Not every case will have a multi-million-dollar outcome, but Phillips Law will fight just as hard to recover the outcome you deserve. If you or a loved one has been injured in a car accident or on the job, call or click today at 1-800-JUSTICE or visit justiceforyou.com.